let's talk about the hard part. Everyone likes to work out, everyone likes to get a good pump, but this is the hard part. This is what everyone really struggles with. Now, a lot of my clients say, hey, training's fine, but nutrition is where I struggle. There's a lot of things you need to understand, and I'm gonna break it down so you can understand it. It's very digestible. One, we're gonna talk about what are macros? What are your macronutrients? What is the purpose of them? How do we use them? How do we count them? Without this, body manipulation is very difficult. If someone says, hey, I have very stubborn belly fat, it's because their macros are in order, okay? So what are macros? To show you how you calculate that as well. So let's talk about that, because a lot of people say, hey, I track my calories. I'm eating 1,200, 1,600 calories, and let's explain. So any type of food, right? You're gonna have your food here. This would be extra lean ground beef, right? If you flip it to the back, it's gonna give you your macros. So what are your macros? Your macros are your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats or lipids. So you have your amino acids, your proteins, you have your carbohydrates, and you have your fats or lipids. Those are your macros. Those are the largest components in any food. All food will either have protein, carbs, or fats. That's what it's composed of. So looking at the nutrition label right here, I'll zoom it on the side. The fat is 4.5 grams of fat. The carbohydrates is 0 because it's a meat. And the protein is 24 grams of protein. So when you look at any type of food, how I look at food and how I classify food is that the highest macro in the food, I deem that what it is. So for instance, since the protein's at 24 grams, the fat's at 4.5, and the carbohydrates are at 0, it's mostly protein. So I would deem this as a protein. Now, if we go to rice, when you go to the back of it, the nutrition label is gonna say, hey, the fat is 2.5, right? The carbohydrates is 39, and the protein is 4. So I would deem this, because the highest macro is carbs, this is a source of carbs. When you go here, you have cheese. The back of it is 4 grams of fat, 2 grams of carbs, and then the protein is 8 grams. Now this cheese is actually special. I put it at 2% milk, so this cheese has lower fat just because I bought it that way, but normally cheese is higher in fat and basically moderate in protein. So when people ask, hey, can I eat this? Hey, how does your diet look like? It's all in terms of the macros. The macros equal the calories. So let's calculate that. Let's go for our rice. So our rice, right now the fat is at 2.5, right? The protein's at 4 grams, and the carbohydrates at 39. I'm gonna actually grab my phone and we can do it together. Loses the phone. Okay. Calculator. Okay, so to calculate, right? Early in the video I said that your macros equal your calories. So 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So the rice right here, and then the total calories in this says 200. So the total calories in here is 200 calories. So right now the fat is at 2.5. 2.5 times 9, boom, is 22 calories. And I know what you're thinking, okay, 22 calories, okay, but the total is 200. How is it? We're gonna get there, okay? We're gonna get there. So the fat is 22.5. We're gonna go to the carbohydrates. 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. So right now we're gonna go 39 times 4. That's equal 156. So now we have 156 and we have 22.5. And then lastly, so actually we can add that up. So like 156 plus 22.5. Now we're at 178. We're getting closer to 200. We're getting closer to 200. Okay, right? So now we're at 178.5, and then we're gonna go 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. 1 gram of my bad guys. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. So we're gonna 4 times 4 is 16. So now we're going 16 plus 170. Hold on. 39 times 4, 156 plus 22.5, boom, 178.5. So 178.5 plus 16, now we're at 194.5. So guys, on nutrition labels, just to make the label look neat, they always round up. So in all actuality, the amount of calories in this cup of rice is actually 194.5. But to round up, just to make the label look nice, they put 200. But that's what I was saying, that your macros equal your calories. So in reality, if you want it to be pinpoint exact, It's actually 194 calories or 194.5 calories. So why does that even matter, right? Why does that even matter? If we were to get this is 200 calories, right? Let's say someone's eating a diet and they want to do a deficit, they want to lose weight, and let's say they eat 1,600 calories, right? So 200 times 8, right? They had 8 meals of this. They were just eating just rice. In reality, because it's 8, right? Their protein for the day would be 4 times 8. They would have got 32 grams of protein for the day. They would have got 39 times 8. They would have got 312 grams of carbs. And their fat, 2.5 times 8, they would have got 20 grams of fat. With those macros, because their protein is so low and their fat is so low, they're going to have health problems. A lot of people are tracking their calories, but since their macros aren't in order, they cannot maintain muscle. So with muscle, right, you need to have protein. You need to be eating an adequate amount of protein to maintain your muscle. For carbohydrates, when you're trying to lose body fat, and for fats, you need to have your carbohydrates and your fat at a moderate level. So you tracking your calories, a lot of times, oh yeah, I ate 1,600 calories today. If we go into the breakdown, just like this rice, I expand this rice, your carbs are too high, sometimes your fat is too high, and your protein is too low. Therefore, you cannot really change the composition of your body. That's why macros are so important. So when we're making this meal plan right here, we're making a meal plan where we're selecting our foods, we're keeping the protein moderate to high, we're keeping the carbohydrates moderate to low, and we're keeping our fats moderate to low. So we can increase our protein, size, right? Increase our muscle mass, decrease the amount of energy that we're consuming so we can burn most of it, and then decrease the amount of fat that we're consuming so we can burn most of it. That is how you cut properly. So it's all in this. None of the things that I mentioned having to do with working out, cardio, it's all in what you eat. Like people say abs remain in the kitchen, they mean that controlling and tracking your macros will lead you to success for cutting.